Valerie,
Cynthia!
it's that time.
What? I just looked like I had a watch. What time is it, Cynthia?
It's time for our next road trip.
Oh, I'm so glad we can finally talk about it.
I know. I've been waiting and waiting. It's been so hard. I'm excited.
Secrets. Secrets are
Yes,
hard.
they are.
And we're going to keep this one a little longer.
What?
What? We got to give them a reason to watch the video. We'll tell them at the end.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe in the middle.
Okay.
Or maybe at the beginning.
Okay, you figure it out. Well, where have we gone before on our road trips?
We went to Pennsylvania.
And
this
then-
is my Pennsylvania road trip shawl made after your designs.
And then this is my Maryland shawl, which has Krabby in it, and I really like him.
He's a cheerful crab, not a
He
crabby
is.
crab.
He's a happy, cheerful crab.
Happy, cheerful crab. And we've had so much fun over the past 2 years knitting our way around Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Mhm.
It's been really interesting to me to learn about some of these places. It's kind of fun to dig up interesting places to go to.
It is. But
Yeah.
I've very much enjoyed it too. It's like a little history lesson as we go around, and I've learned lots of stuff so far about those two states.
Yes. But let us be realistic. This is not about history.
No.
It's not even really about travel.
No.
It's about knitting.
Absolutely.
And wonderful, soft, squishy, gloriously colored yarn.
Yes. So,
yeah, yarn, making a decision about yarn is one of the very first things we get to do. And one of the funnest things we get to do. And this year we both very quickly came to agreement about who we wanted to partner with for yarn. Do you want to tell them who it is?
I would. It's Emma's yarn.
Yay!
Everyone loves it. So
Do you know, I actually used some Emma's yarn in my very first Pennsylvania shawl. Not
Really?
this one, the other one I did.
Huh.
Because I didn't use an official color combo. We hadn't even thought of the idea of having
No.
official color combos when I started.
That was a
one.
very rough draft. Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
I just
yeah.
love their yarn.
It's beautiful yarn, and I'm very, very excited about using it. So, yeah. So that was our first decision.
Our first decision, Emma's yarn.
Because we care about his yarn.
And we got beautiful, soft, squishy things in the mail. And it was wonderful to see all the colors. And it just made us think that we might want to go visit.
Exactly. Because where else but Florida would you get these beautiful, light, happy colors?
Light, happy colors.
So we had to go to Florida.
Yes. So our 2022 road trip mystery is to Florida.
Yes.
Yay!
So we're very excited about it.
I didn't make them wait till the end.
No.
Aren't you proud of me?
But we have other things that you might want to wait till the end to hear
Yeah.
about.
Oh, yeah. There are always things.
Absolutely.
So should we show them some of this yarn?
We totally should, because we're all about the yarn. So let's do one combination.
My favorite. You picked my favorite. This is called Crystal Clear Waters.
Oh, nice.
It's kind
so
of my
pretty.
color scheme. Even my glasses match. So what we want to talk about as you're thinking about yarn, we're going to show you our colors, but we're also going to talk a little bit about how we're arranging them. And
So I rearranged just now to show you that.
this is a perfect example of a gradient color kit, which this would be perfect. In fact, it is so perfect that I decided to use this color combo for my shawl. So you want to have a dark, a medium, a light, and then a pop. Like your D color could be a pop color that really contrasts. We'll show you some of those later. Or it could be something like a variegated that ties it all together. You could go either direction and it will work equally well.
Yes.
But I just really loved this color combo. And so that is what I went with.
It's good.
I really like it. So
Yes.
let's do another one kind of like that.
Okay.
this is our theme parks.
And this one goes this way, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So again, you'll see we have 3 solid colors. I might flip those. I don't know. It's going to depend on the dye lot. In all honesty, it's going to depend on the dye lot and your preference. But you really want a dark, a medium, and a light. These 2 are really close to the same tone, but I think that'll be okay because they're not being worked against each other.
Right.
So they'll be worked in blocks of color. And then we have this beautiful speckly variegated thing that, again, just ties it all together. Exactly. So that one is not a gradient kit, but you get the idea with some tones.
This one is a gradient kit.
So we've got another gradient one. This one is nice and neutral, and this one is called Osprey.
Which I like because I love ospreys, and they look exactly like this. And there are lots of ospreys in Florida.
And again, we've got 3 solids, and there may be a little tonality to them. This one has a little bit of a speckle to it, I think. Yes.
A little variegation.
A little bit, and that's okay. But it's really important that you have solid or tonal yarns for colors A, B, and C.
Right.
Because they need to show textures and lace.
Right.
Did I say too much?
I think we just had to be firm about that.
We just have to be firm about that.
And then the variegated is very different colors. If you can see it on the end, it's got light and dark in it, and that's real good.
But what I like about this, even though it has longer color changes, they're not super long. That's still going to be a pretty short color change in your variegated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're going to want, because you're not going to want a lot of color pooling or like a long stretch of one color.
Right.
Right. Not a self-striping sock yarn type thing. So something with shorter changes or speckles. Ooh, we're going to the Everglades.
Let's see.
A, B, C, D. So, yes.
This was a tricky one. So
this is a tricky one. And see here, we've got a speckle as our light yarn. And then we brought in this Foxy Lady, that's actually the name of the color, to be the contrast against this green color palette.
I love this one so much. I want to use it.
It has a little bit of that gradient theme to it. It's, with the dark, the medium, the light green, and then this just comes in and makes it sing.
Yeah. It's
that's
really
an
beautiful.
example of having a pop.
Mm-hmm.
Pop, pop.
Okay.
Oh.
This one's crazy.
Yes. Oh, good job.
Okay.
This is like a test.
Yeah.
She's
been doing all the website work lately, so she knows the order of the colors better than I do. Okay. So dark, medium, light, and this is definitely a pop.
Yeah, and again, we've got a little bit of speckle here in our light, but that's going to show the pattern still really well. It's not a drastically speckled or drastically variegated that's going to hide your beautiful knitted stitches that you work so hard for. Yeah. Like in a maze of color.
In other words, the dark, medium, and light should be fairly plain. The pop, it doesn't really matter as much.
Let's do this one.
Okay.
See if you can figure that one out.
I'm guessing
one actually is very similar. Yeah.
There's our order.
There's our order. Good job.
Yeah, so again, this is counting as a pop. Even though it's not really poppy, it's just a contrast to the light, medium, and the dark.
And it really goes nicely with the speckle that you have over here in our color A.
Yeah.
So in this case, we decided that this would be our pop color rather than our dark color.
Yes.
So you can do that sort of thing. Now here's a color combo that uses that same navy color as our dark color. Oops.
Right.
Right? So here we've got the solid navy as color A, our dark, and heliotrope. That's so pretty.
It is.
And whisper, and then here we've got this nice red, dark, deep cherry merlot. That is a nice deep color to provide that contrast here. So we wanted to give you some flexibility. Wait, we're missing one.
We are?
Did you swipe the Florida sunset? Cynthia?
I don't like orange.
You love orange. They're not wearing it now. This is deceiving. Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Is that your knitting bag?
Maybe.
All right. I see that yarn. I see it. Bring it out.
There might be another one.
So this is the Florida sunset. And look at that. Like, it's like all the colors.
Yes.
It's so gorgeous.
So pretty. Yeah.
Um.
So again, we have dark, medium, light, and then a variegated speckly one to
Right.
contrast.
And this is a tie it all together, really, sort of. It does contrast, but it also just brings it all together.
Yeah. So.
All right.
There we
So
go.
that's all our color combos.
Yes.
So
Now we have gone through them.
We wanted to talk about them a little bit in case we know sometimes people have different tastes and preferences. I think some people really like pastels, and you may have figured out that we're not really very
tend
pastel
not to wear
girls.
them, but that's okay. You know, yeah.
But in general, like, we wanted to provide you with the guidelines for how we put together the color kits, so that if you're using stash yarn or if you're going to your local yarn shop to find things, you know how to choose in a way that it's going to best suit this shawl.
Yes.
So, picking the yarn colors and the combos is not the only thing you have to decide on. Because you and I both like beads!
Yes.
She was looking at me with a blank stare.
I was like, when is she going to talk about beads?
Beads. We're going to talk about beads right now.
Yes.
So, some thoughts about beads. In general, size 5 or size 6 beads will work well. We both have one that we really like that's a size 5 triangle, which I feel like they end up looking more like size 6, which are smaller.
Yeah.
There's something about the shape that makes them appear smaller than
But
a
either
normal
way
size 5 bead.
Yeah. Either way is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
Something that you can stick a crochet hook in and pull the
Right.
bead through the stitch.
Like a number 10 crochet hook.
Right.
Not just
A
like
tiny
any
crochet hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've done other road trips with us, or pretty much any pattern that I've ever designed through Really Clear Designs, you've probably used beads. So you know what to do.
So bead wise, you and I took some different directions with beads. I decided to go with one tone of bead for almost the entire shawl. But you're mixing it up.
I'm mixing it up a bit, but at the same time, I think doing one tone would be really good. And so you can decide on your own, and I don't think you need to worry about it. You can just play with the bead colors as you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So for Start Your Engines and the very first 6 legs, all of the beads that are used with your color D. So you will need to have your beads in time for start, and they should go well with your color D. They should
you should be able
ideally
to see
coordinate
them.
with the whole shawl, but
Right.
you want them to be seen on your color D.
The main thing is that they're seen on color D. That's going to be the critical thing.
And we always say this, beads are totally optional. You don't have to do beads, but we always put them in because we like them.
We're going to do them.
We're going to do them.
You
The
do
directions
you.
are going to call for them, and we'll be sure to tell you, how to do it if you don't want to do beads. But that's just something to keep in mind. If you're talking to the two of us, there will be beads. We even have a pattern called that.
That's true, I do.
So we've tantalized you with talks of colors.
I have a question for the next part. Yeah, so what's the shape of this shawl?
The shape of the shawl. We've done some different shapes.
Yeah.
So
we like playing with shape.
We do. So. We like playing with shapes. We like finding something that's going to look equally well on both of us. And that's tough.
But
we're so different.
We're different, but we do want to, we try to make it so that it works for both of us, and then we figure it works for anybody.
Well, and what is interesting is that we style our shawls differently with how we wear them. So, all that to say that we have another different shape this year. It's extremely wearable.
Yes, I agree.
And it, we're playing.
Yeah.
And found several different ways to wear it in 30 seconds. And it is V for Valerie. It's all about me. No, V for victory. V for just because that's the shape it ended up being once we started shaping things.
Yeah.
I think what I've figured out is that
it's kind of Florida shaped in a way.
In a way.
In a little bit of a way.
Very
but not
abstractly.
Yeah. That's a stretch.
If Picasso were to draw a map of Florida, it might look something like this, but not really.
Right.
Because,
Right. But anyway, yeah. So,
I think one of the things that we like is we like to give something that has a shape to fit around the body. It always drives me nuts when I end up with fabric bunched somewhere, so that's something that's always going to be involved. Now with Pennsylvania, we did 2 sizes. We needed 2 for Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Maryland, which is more scarfy, we only did 1 size.
This one we're doing 2 again.
We're back to 2 in Florida, and mostly that's because some people's arms are longer than others.
Right. Some people are taller and some people are shorter, which if you saw the different chair heights that we have here, you would realize that I am not the height of Valerie at all. So
yeah, the video makes you look taller even.
Yeah, but I'm not even slightly taller.
I'm practically sitting on the floor.
Yes. So one of our shawls is a shorter version and the other is a taller version, and you can decide what you are and what you prefer and go through. Honestly, the tall one I could probably have done, so don't worry about it that much, but you can choose whether you want the taller or the shorter version. I'm about 5'1". You're
5'7"-ish.
Yeah. So, somewhere in between there is the dividing line for what you choose. But it's not a serious decision, I don't think.
Right.
I think even the short one would be okay on you, but you just like things a little bit longer.
Yes.
So, so we're good there. So you can get the pattern on Ravelry, and it is right now $3.98 until the first leg is released. So get it now because it will start going up in price with every release of every leg. We figure if you're brave enough to buy it earlier, then you should get a discount. So that's how we work things.
We reward risk takers.
We do.
Thank you.
Yes. And we also have some things coming up this year as you wait for the pattern to be released. On Local Yarn Shop Day on April 30th is our beginning clue, the Start Your Engines, which we always do a little bit of a first day, yay, let's get going. So we have a couple of things to keep you busy until Start Your Engines if you buy the pattern early. And one of those is a hat I designed based on actually the Maryland road trip. So that'll be fun, and it will be released sometime when I get it finalized, but that will be coming soon. And Valerie also has done a March Madness equivalent for yarn.
Yes.
And why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, we want to know what your favorite color combos are. Right? We just introduced to you our 8 color combos, but we want to know which ones you're most interested in. So last week and the week before, we were putting some photos of our colors up on social media. So if you haven't seen those, go over to Instagram, go over to Facebook, share, comment on your favorites. I'm going to use that information to figure out the initial ranking for our official Mystery Knit Along Madness bracket, which will start in March because it's March.
Madness.
That's bracket season, right?
Yes, it is.
So we'll pit the colors against each other and allow you guys to vote. And by the time we get to April 23rd, the week before we release the first clue, we will have a champion.
And that'll be just fun to see. So
we were really surprised last year. I don't think I can express how shocked either one of us was that Deep Creek ended up in the finals.
Yeah.
But when I saw those shawls that were done with the Deep Creek colorway, I was like shocked.
They were beautiful. Yeah, better than ever expected. And I mean, we expect all the colors to work because that's why we put them together.
Right.
But there's some that we're sure are going to be different from others. And then when things are knitted up, that's not always the case. And I think that's part of the fun of knitting is just seeing, there's always a little risk taking. How's this going to look when it's knit up? And you know, we don't know how all the colors are going to look even now. Right. So I think it's pretty exciting, and it'll be fun to see yours as we go through this whole thing. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes. So you've got homework. If you haven't already gotten over to Ravelry to buy your pattern or gone to your local yarn shop to say, hey, I want to buy this pattern, because you can get this pattern through your local yarn shop if they do Ravelry in-store sales.
Yes.
If you haven't done that already, go do it now.
Yes, and give your local yarn shop part of the money from this pattern. That's our objective, is to start this on local yarn shop day every year, and we are doing it for the purpose of supporting local yarn shops. So we really, really hope that you go to your local yarn shop to purchase the yarn and give them some love. We really are hoping that a lot. That's our whole objective.
I was just talking with someone a little while ago about books. I used to work in a bookstore, and the bookstore closed. And this person was bemoaning the fact that she couldn't go in and touch books and talk to an expert about books and finding the best books anymore. And like, I don't want to see that happen to local yarn shops.
We always want them to be here for us. Yes.
Yarn, so soft and squishy. Yes.
There's nothing like that. It's just the best. Yep.
All right. So to recap, step 1, buy the pattern.
Yes.
Step 2, if your local yarn shop doesn't already know about this, please tell them, because it would be great to have them on board with this project, and maybe they have some other customers who would be interested in working through this together as a group. It's always fun to do it as a group. And step 3, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are Road Trip Mystery on both. So let me tell you about Facebook for just a second, because we've got two things. One is our Facebook page, which is a public page, and we'll be doing a lot on our Facebook page for the next couple of months, because we want to like shout it to the world that this thing is coming, and we're excited about it. So a lot of the fun stuff between now and April 30th is going to be on the Facebook page called Road Trip Mystery. Once we start knitting, there will still be some fun stuff on the page, but a lot of the things where people ask questions or show their progress or ask, how do you do that stitch again? Those types of things happen in our private Facebook group, which is ever so creatively called Road Trip Mystery Group. So those are the two Facebook options, and it's great to be on both.
Right. We'll try not to post the same thing in both places, so it's worth being on both.
So different things happen. The group is more for the community to talk to each other. The page is more for us to kind of broadcast to the world what's coming, and that's where March Madness will be, or the Mystery Knit Along Madness, and some of the other tips and tricks, hints about what's to come. For instance, I'll let you in on the first hint.
What?
I know. I gotta help them out for watching the whole video. Here it is.
Oh, true.
Preview of hint number 1. There are 0 picked up stitches in the Florida road trip mystery shawl.
Well, that's no fun.
The people who did Maryland are cheering with great joy right now.
Picking up stitches.
I know, but you're special.
True.
So there you go, a little hint. There are no picked up stitches.
Yeah, this year's shawl is actually pretty basic, I would describe it. I think it's kind of it's
In
definitely
some
got some
ways.
challenges for
Yeah.
sure. But especially on Valerie's side, because
Oh, leg 8.
it's Valerie. But I think it's a very doable basic shawl
Yes.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Very
and
good.
as usual, you're going to have a choice of doing hers or mine. We're working it a little differently this year. We'll talk to you about that later. But so you can always decide which one you'd prefer knitting, whether you want a little challenge or whether you want a little bit of ease that week or whatever you want to do.
Mix and match.
Yeah. So,
Woohoo.
or make 2 shawls.
There you go.
Always a good option.
Yes.
So.
All right. We've given you your tasks. We've given you some carrots, dangled a few carrots.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you will join us for the Florida road trip mystery. We're looking forward to it so much. We're going to have lots of fun. We will see you on April 30th when we get this thing started.
And in the meantime, go to your local yarn shop and buy all your supplies.